He crashed a similar car here in the 1964 TT, turned the car over, got himself badly concussed, and then went on and won the next 2 Grand Prix for Ferrari. So John Surtees a man who always wants to come back for a bit more punishment. There's that little Morgan going through. And now Damon Hill working away still in Nick Mason's Ferrari, 3rd gear. Across the gate, he's going to go there to 4th gear. And now, he found first briefly, then neutral, and he's going to go off. A missed gear change there for Damon Hill. He's on the gravel. Can he drive out of the gravel? He can't. The car is beached, and Damon Hill's race in Nick Mason's Ferrari is over. What a shame. And you saw so clearly it was because he briefly missed 3rd gear, and that was enough to send him off the road. So let's instead ride with Danny Sullivan in the red lightweight E-Type. He's on the tail of Patrick Tombe, another great French ex-Formula 1 driver, in the little short wheelbase 250 GT Ferrari. Through the chicane goes Danny Sullivan, and he's coming into the pits, I think. Yes, indeed, he dives down the pit lane. Danny Sullivan brings in the first of all the lightweight E-Types, the ex-John Coombs, Graham Hill, Jack Sears, Brian Redman car. No racing car can possibly have a history quite as long and as energetic as this. Won so many races in Brian Redman's hands. Out gets Danny Sullivan. They're just strapping in Gregor Fiskin, the London historic car dealer, and Fiskin gets the car into gear. He's revving up, he's waiting to go. Now surely he's going to get underway. Now he's found bottom gear, adjusts the mirror, and Gregor Fiskin drives down the pit lane and back into the RAC Tourist Trophy. Off the power a little bit, just making sure he can feel the car as he goes through Madgwick. So often a driver can go off the road in his excitement, and he's just taken over a car from his co-driver. Now he's out of Madgwick. This is the slight right-hander of Ford Water, very nearly flat. On the power now, and going down towards St Mary's. Who's coming through on the inside? It's Peter Hardman. Peter Hardman goes through in the 330 GTO Ferrari. And now the right-hander of St Mary's, now the left-hander of St Mary's. Little dab from Peter Hardman's brake lights. And now the 2 red cars, both on the power. The V12 Ferrari, the big straight 6 twin-cam Jaguar. Hardman hanging the tail out. Gregor Fiskin has a grandstand view. Gregor Fiskin playing with the understeer. Peter Hardman playing with the oversteer. Now they're out of Lavant. They're now flat out in top, down the Lavant straight. And the Ferrari now not getting away from the Jaguar at all as they go down to Woodcote Corner, off the power, down to 3rd gear goes Gregor Fiskin. Bit of smoke from the Ferrari as they lead it into the late apex of Woodcote Corner. A squirt down, still in 3rd gear before we have 2nd gear for the chicane. Right, clipping that wall, left. Hardman hanging out the tail once more and over the start-finish line to start another lap. Meanwhile, Jochen Mass has brought in the leading Corvette Stingray to hand over to the car's owner, Uli Berberich-Martini. Martini taking it down the pit lane. And this is Mark Hales, who's taken over the Nigel Corner lightweight E-Type, and he's working his way through the GTOs. Dickie Atwood's car comes into the pits. Nigel Hulme will take that over. Simon Draper has handed over the Project Aston Martin to David Clark, and look at that spin for Ludovic Lindsay it is, in Viscount Cadre's streamlined lightweight E-Type, Cut 7, the famous ex-Richard Prothero car, but Ludovic Lindsay didn't waste much time getting the car pointing in the right direction again after that spin. All the second drivers now getting into their cars. That's Willie Green, who's taken over John Surtees' Ferrari GTO and is going extremely well already, sliding it like a good one. In the pits now is the Steve Hitchens Daytona Cobra, Jochen Neerpasch taking over that car as we watch Martini, Berberich-Martini, being passed by Derek Hill. Derek Hill has taken over from his famous ex-world champion father, Phil Hill, the American father and son team in the number 98 Daytona Cobra, and that is really going well. There's the little Morgan of Bill Wickham and Charles Morgan, the grandson of the Morgan founder, and meanwhile, well established in the lead now, Mark Hales in the Nigel corner, lightweight E-Type, just lapping the Laidlaw Fitzpatrick Porsche 904 there. Now, Peter Hardman has got a lot of time to make up because he did have a very slow driver change stop. It did take him a long time to unravel his seatbelts, and so by the time he came out, all of Derek Bell's work, or quite a lot of it, had gone to naught. But Peter Hardman is now driving like a man possessed, moving back up the field in the 330 LMB Ferrari. And Peter Hardman is a man who loves to get his car sideways, tremendous car control. We've seen it in so many historic cars, and Peter Hardman, one of the best of the current generation of historic drivers, and he is now in third place, and he's on the tail of a second place man, which is that Daytona Cobra number 98, started in this race by Phil Hill, now with Phil's son Derek Hill at the wheel, both of them headlights ablaze, the big V8 Daytona Cobra, the live V12 330 LMB Ferrari, and they're both absolutely on the limit. Hill is second, and Hardman is third. Down into St Mary's now, using all of the suspension movement, and an opposite lock twitch from young Derek Hill there in the left-hand part of St Mary's. Peter Hardman getting closer and closer, putting the pressure on Derek Hill. Can Derek Hill respond as they go into Lavant Corner now? This beautiful, picturesque scene here at Goodwood, the most beautiful of all British motor racing circuits, recreated here. And this is just as the TT would have been in the early 1960s. Another big twitch there from Peter Hardman. On the brakes they go through the chicane. Such a tight line. This is the battle for second place. The lightweight E-Type of Corner and Hales is well ahead out of reach, but they're battling for second place, and the Cobra eases out a little bit from the Ferrari as they go down the straight. Bit of nose damage on the Zagato Aston, started by Gillian Goldsmith, driven now by the South African girl Desiree Wilson. She goes down into the chicane there, closing on the Steve O'Rourke Alan de Cadenet DB4 GT Aston Martin. We've got a great battle for second place. We've got a great battle for fourth place, because Burbrick Martini in the Stingray has been caught by Jochen Neerpasch, who now loses the Daytona Cobra, or so nearly does. Gets the car pointing in the right direction once more, and is briefly overtaken again by the little Porsche 904 before Jochen Neerpasch gets the car straight again. He's got the Nigel Hulme, Richard Atwood Cobra behind him, the traditionally bodied Cobra, but it's the Daytona Cobra which is in fifth place. There's Dick Goldstrand in the old 1961 Corvette, waves past Derek Hill in the Daytona, and Derek Hill seems to have shaken off Peter Hardman's attentions for the time being. Derek Hill in second place, Peter Hardman still in third. Our leader, Mark Hales, there he is in Nigel Corner's lightweight E-Type, and he is right out on his own. Nose dives as he brakes for Madgwick Corner, but he's looking very much in control of the Tourist Trophy, and off goes the other lightweight E-Type. The rear suspension seems to have broken on that car. Gregor Fiskin at the wheel, it spins to a halt, and fortunately it's going to stop. It does stop before it hits the bank. Now, here's the battle for fourth place. Burbrick Martini in the Corvette Stingray, and going round the outside is Jochen Neerpasch, a man who raced these Cobras when they were new. A beautiful overtaking manoeuvre. Jochen Neerpasch takes fourth place. Burbrick Martini fights back. They're wheel to wheel once more as they come out of St Mary's, down into Lavant Corner, and Neerpasch has the inside line. The Corvette is on the outside once more. Neerpasch sneaks through to fourth place. A tremendous battle between these two big V8 cars, but it's the six-cylinder car, the British E-Type Jaguar of Mark Hales, which is out in front. He's just lapped Nigel Hulme's Wilmot Cobra as he comes down into Woodcote for the last time. This Tourist Trophy is going to be won by a British E-Type Jaguar. Into the chicane for the last time goes Mark Hales. On the power now, he's out on the chicane, and he comes down the start-finish straight. The checkered flag is waiting, and Mark Hales wins the 1999 RAC TT in Nigel Corner's E-Type. There is Derek Hill in the Daytona Cobra he shared with Phil Hill, and Peter Hardman and Derek Bell will be third in their 330 LMB Ferrari.